Welcome back to In the Know. Tonight we're talking all about health myths and misconceptions about health and foods. Okay, on to the next myth.
Yes. So the next one is that counting calories and skipping meals will help you lose weight. And
Counting calories, I heard, is important though.
okay.
I mean, you know, somebody my size, I know, you know, my height, my size, about 1,200 calories, and that's a lot of calories
Yeah.
to be consuming in one day, right?
The thing, it's actually not. The thing is that calories, yes, are important to a certain extent. So there are sort of calorie limits that we don't want to sort of go outside of. So if our daily calorie requirements are 1,500 calories, we don't want to be eating 3,000 or 3,500 calories.
Okay.
However,
Yep.
we also don't want to skip meals and be too conscious of that, because that's not what's most important. What's most important is knowing what types of foods we're eating as opposed to how many calories they're providing us with.
There's the thing.
Right,
There's
so
the difference, right?
when you skip a meal, your body actually goes into starvation mode. Okay, and so it starts to store whatever food you've eaten as fat, because it doesn't think that it's going to get another meal. And when it doesn't think that it's going to eat again, it starts to store everything that it has as fat so that it can use it later on to provide energy, right? It also slows down your metabolism, and it starts to use whatever nutrients you have because it doesn't see itself getting another meal for a while, right? And so, again, when you're not eating and it's storing it as fat, you're actually going to start to gain more weight and start to store more energy as fat.
So here's another question,
yeah.
I guess, branching off from that myth. Then is it a good idea to eat more meals during the day, smaller meals, and obviously healthier foods? Because this is another thing I've heard.
Yeah, obviously healthier foods, and smaller meals throughout the day prevents your blood sugar from crashing, right? So you never want to increase your blood sugar levels and then have them crash to the point where you're feeling irritable and tired, and your blood sugar levels really dip low. That starts a whole sequence of horrible things that happen. So what you want to do is you want to maintain even blood sugar throughout the day by eating those smaller meals throughout the day.
So never skip a meal.
So you never want to skip a meal. And in terms of calories as well, like I said, it's very different to have 100 calories from a handful of gummies than it is to have 100 calories from, let's just say, a tablespoon of chia seeds. They both provide 100 calories, but they break down completely differently in the body, that our body knows what to do with these healthy seeds, and they don't really know what to do with those gummies because it doesn't see that stuff as food.
Okay, well, gummy bears are one of my favorite candies, so that would be really hard for me to switch. But like you said, a handful that serving of something healthier like almonds or chia seeds or flax seeds, good, right?
Better option.
Okay.
Yeah, much better option.
So when we come back from break, more on uncovering health myths. Stay tuned. Welcome back to In the Know. Tonight we're talking all about debunking health myths. Now, counting calories, we were talking about that before the break. What else do we need to know about that, Shannon?
So, like I was saying, that, you know, just because something is 100 calories or whatever it is, doesn't mean that it's good for us. So if you, let's say your daily limit is 1,500 calories. If you consume all of those 1,500 calories from unhealthy foods that the body doesn't recognize and doesn't really know what to do with, then you're not doing your body any favor. It's going to end up storing a lot of that stuff as fat because it's not able to use it for energy, and it's going to cause a whole host of other problems inside the body. It's going to slow down our digestion, which affects our weight. It's not really healthy for us. And so, like I said, it's important not to over-exceed your calorie intake, but it's more important to look at what types of foods we're eating. So, for example,
you see a lot of this packaging, right?
Yeah.
100 calories.
When you're dieting, you think, you know what, it only has 100 calories. Perfect, I'll just have it as my snack. But the fact is, if you look at the ingredients on these 100-calorie packs, they're loaded with chemicals and artificial flavorings and a whole bunch of ingredients that literally you can't even pronounce. To be quite honest, I think there's about 10 chips in those things. They don't leave you feeling very full. And so even though the pack itself is only 100 calories, you don't feel like you're eating too much, it's not really benefiting you in any way. You're going to end up being hungry. You're going to need 2 or 3 of those. And it's not providing our body with any nourishment to allow us to feel satisfied.
And are they called empty calories? Because that's a phrase I've heard.
Yeah,
empty calories.
Empty calories means that you're eating, but you're getting nothing from it, right? You're not getting any nourishment. You're not getting any real fiber, protein. You're not getting anything good from it, right? And so when we eat to become nourished, that's the whole point of eating. That's not happening when you choose items like that. So
what's the next health myth?
The myth is that no-calorie sweeteners and diet pop drinks are a healthy alternative to, let's say, sugar and regular pop drinks. And the truth is that just because there's no calories doesn't mean it's healthy, and in fact, they're worse for us.
Because you see it all the time now, the 0 calorie in this green tea, you know, pop, or Diet Coke, obviously, is a big one.
Yeah.
So diet, 0 calories, true, not true?
Not true. And what happens when they make them 0 calories is that they remove the sugar, which is also not good for us, but they replace it with artificial sweeteners. And so we talked about those a little bit, but the artificial sweeteners, most of them, are, especially the ones that they replace in our sodas, they're neurotoxins. They cause lots of different issues in the body. They lead to irritability, headaches, mood issues, they're known carcinogens as well, which means that they promote cancer as well. So what happens when you consume a no-calorie sweetener is that your brain actually gets tricked into thinking that it's receiving calories because of the sweet taste. So even though it doesn't provide any calories, the brain still thinks that it's getting calories because it tastes sweet, right?
So sweet, right.
So it tricks the brain. And when the brain thinks that it's receiving something sweet, it sort of tells the pancreas to release insulin, which helps to bring our blood sugar levels down to a safe level. That's what happens. When we eat, our pancreas releases insulin and it helps to control our blood sugar levels. The same thing happens even though we're not actually receiving any sugar or any calories from it. And so the whole issue with having too much sugar leading to obesity and diabetes and all that because of overproduction of insulin, the same thing happens even if we're having those 0 calorie sweeteners.
If you choose the 0 calorie sweetener, you think you're choosing the healthier alternative.
Exactly, and it's not healthier for us. So a healthier option would be to choose something like stevia.
Okay, and we actually have an example of it here.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny bottle.
Yeah, and so you can buy it like this, which is liquid.
Oh, okay.
But you can also buy it like this, which is sort of the leaf, not the leaf, the powder, which kind of looks like those artificial sweeteners or sugar packet. It comes like that as well, and it comes in leaf form. And stevia, actually, if you want that no calorie option, stevia is a natural form, so it doesn't have any of those artificial ingredients or harmful chemicals. It's natural, it comes from a plant, and it provides that same sort of sweetness, but it doesn't actually cause that spike in blood sugar, so it's safe for diabetics even.
And I heard that, I've heard about stevia is that a little goes a long way.
A little, it's like 300 times sweeter than sugar. So
even if you're craving that sweet taste, and you can't go to sugar, you go to this, and you're kind of hesitant about it. It is pretty sweet, right?
You need about a few drops of that for a cup of sugar, like 1 to 2 teaspoons for every cup of sugar. That's how sweet it is. Yeah, so you don't need very much.
Is that only in the liquid form, like in the powder?
Yeah, it'd be about this. Yeah,
okay.
Well, roughly. And so that's a much better option. The other thing with the pops is that, pop is not good for us anyways, right? So it has caffeine, it has citric acid, it has phosphoric acid, it has all these things that aren't great for our body. The phosphoric acid actually is what helps to remove rust, and that's what we're putting in our body. So if you can imagine what it would do to rust, think about what it's doing to your insides. So
what is an alternative? Because I know it is so hard to get people off the pop because the fizziness and that the pop taste to it is so addictive.
I know, and so what people do is they get off the pop and they go to Diet Pop.
Yes.
The truth is that the Diet Pop has the exact same ingredients as the regular pop except for the sugar. But instead of the sugar, they're putting in those artificial sweeteners. So
like you were saying, and it tricks your brain.
It's just as bad. So here we have some healthier pop options.
Okay, so right here we had an example.
So these are sweetened with stevia. So you don't get the sugar, you don't get that phosphoric acid. They're all natural ingredients. Some of them have fruit flavors, but you can also get like a cola flavor as well if that's really what you like. And they're a much better option. You still get that fizziness that you look for from a pop, but you don't get all the harmful ingredients.
So I've never actually seen these cans of pops before, but so they say they're all natural, and does it say stevia in the ingredients?
It does.
So
it
there
does.
you
And
go.
it's right
That's
there on the label. There's a
indication.
little logo. It'll say stevia.
They're not tricking you. It's in
Yeah,
there.
it's there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
That's
there's
a great
always
alternative.
alternatives, yeah.
And where can you get something like that? Or organic pop or
You can get them
pop
at a health food store, local markets. Like I get this at a market just right by my house, just a small little market. So
more
lots
and
of
more
different-
they're providing that in your local grocery store.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shannon. When we come back, more on uncovering these health myths. Stay tuned.